Welcome to R505. This is Kelly Bratcher, and in this module we're going to be exploring hypermedia tools and reflecting on some of the ways that we can use those in the classroom. At the start of each class, I always choose a different tool to do my video instructions just so you guys can see what's available, and maybe along this journey you find one that you think really meets your needs and that you like a lot. So that's why I change it up each week, not to confuse you, but just to show you what options are out there, in hopes that at the end of this course you have found a few tools that you really can take back to the classroom. All right, to start this lesson, hopefully you've already joined the EDD Puzzle group. That just lets me see as you watch the video and you answer the questions. I get a report back of who has or has not answered the questions and which questions were answered correctly. And that's something that you guys can use with your students as well. You know, you might assign them a video, but you're not sure if they've actually watched it, and this is a good way to check for that. So to start, we're going to be using something called Blendspace. Blendspace is a hypermedia tool, meaning it allows you to incorporate things like pictures, videos, text, and audio all in one place. So any tool that you can use that allows you to incorporate the different types of media will be considered hypermedia. To use this tool, you're just going to click on the little circles. Anytime you have a question or comment, you can always leave it here on the right, and that's a place where you all can communicate with one another as well and share ideas. So feel free to use that comment feature. What we're going to be doing in this lesson is learning how to integrate videos and images into one place, and also making sure that we discuss and keep copyright laws in mind. So if it's not your picture, then you need to make sure you're using one of the tools that we learned about in Module 2 when it comes to using someone else's work or images or videos. Make sure you're free to use those things. And our goal is to learn about available tools that allow you to combine multiple types of resources into one place. Right here is a link. Anytime it says open a new tab, to see that web page, you're going to have to click on that. And this is just a definition of hypermedia for you. So even after hearing my definition, you can click here to learn more about it. It says hypermedia is an extension to hypertext. It supports linking graphics like pictures, sound, and video elements in addition to text elements. We'll head back to our Blendspace tab. I always encourage you guys to use tabs. That way you don't lose your place. So if you notice, I still have the class website open so I can keep going back to that for reference. And then over here on the right, you notice I've asked you a question. So I said, what tools do you currently use in your classroom that could be considered a hypermedia tool? So one tool that I use is my class website. I can add all of those items to that. And I also use Blendspace a lot, which you're currently using right now. Hit the arrow to go to the next tab. What I want you guys to do now is explore some hypermedia tools. I've given you a few that you can use here: Thinglink, Meograph, Capsules, and Prezi. If you have any additional ones that you'd like to add to that list, feel free to add those over here. Go ahead and add that here. All right, now let's get started going into some of those tools. First one is Thinglink. I'll give you an idea how I've used it in the classroom, and then I'll show you where you can go and search and see how teachers that teach the same subject as you are using them. You can use it as an instructional tool to incorporate all of the media that you need to teach a lesson, or if you've got students that you feel can use the tool, you can have them create one. In my class, we're required to discuss input and output devices like a monitor or speakers, and we're also required to talk about the different hardware that goes in the computer. So I had the students go out and get a picture, and they can add little tags to each picture. So they were required to add a tag that gave a simple explanation of what that device was and a link or a video that had more information. So here's a picture of the motherboard. I've tagged it here with a definition, and you can click this link to go to a website that has more information about what a motherboard is. Same thing for a keyboard. I just said it's an input device, gave a simple description, and there's a link where you can go get more information. You can also add videos to those. Here's another one. I put a screenshot of Microsoft Word in the Thinglink. So this is an image I've added, and I've started to add little tags. So I want the kids to know, to be familiar with the different buttons that are available in Word and the different tabs and groups. So I had my students add a screenshot, and they had to go through and tag some of the buttons with video tutorials. So here I can click right on this video, and it is somebody who's out there explaining how to use the Find and Replace feature. So when we're all done, the kids are going to have this one image that they can click on that is just one big tutorial. So when they don't remember what a certain tool does or how to use it, they can go back to this image and watch simple little video tutorials. You can also watch them in full screen if it's too small. And let me show you how this works. Here I am looking at my picture, and I put a screenshot of Word in here, so if it's confusing you, like, why are we looking at Word? This is for my computer class. And you just double click to add a new tag, and you'll notice in the bottom left-hand corner, it's kind of getting cut off by my screen, you can click to add a link. So if you have found a website with more information, you can add that. And you can also add text. So for instance, where I've clicked right now, this is called the document pane, and then I could even give more information about that. If the kids aren't sure about the purpose of the document pane, they can add a video or a link that explains it. If you don't like the icon they have given you, there's all kinds of other icons you can choose from. If you're linking to a video, you could choose the one with the play button. And here is another neat feature. There's a search for content up at the top. So I might search Word 2013 Format Painter, and there might be a tutorial of how to use the Format Painter, and here one is. And you can drag that out to your screen. And once you click on it, it should add it. Looks like I've added it a few times because I got click happy. And you should be able to move it to wherever you want that tag to go. So I'm going to want the Format Painter tag over here right beside the Format Painter. Now my little icon is kind of large and it's covering up the Format Painter, so I might want to go and change that to something smaller. But here again, I've got a video explaining how to use the Format Painter. So it's really a great way to get a lot of resources in one place really easily. And if you don't like their search feature here, you can go and search on your own for videos outside of this. So this is Thinglink. You just simply save it when you're finished. And then a share button pops up, and that's how you can share it. It even gives you stats on how many people are watching it. It's a wonderful tool. Let's head back to Blendspace and check out the next one. We've got Meograph. All right, this is Meograph. What's nice about Meograph is you can add videos, images, and websites, and you can add narration explaining these things for your students. Or if you have students that are able to use this tool, you can have your students put together information over certain topics that they're learning. So I'm going to hit Create Meograph so you can get an idea. And they call them moments. So you can give it a title. I'll just leave it as it is for right now. And you can add a moment. They ask you, do you want to add photo or video? And then do you want to narrate it? So we can choose photo. Once you're here, you can see your options for photos. You can take a picture if you want it to be a picture of you. Maybe you're introducing yourself. If you use the cloud like Google Drive or Dropbox, you can pull photos from that. I strongly encourage you guys to save your resources in the cloud at Dropbox or Google Drive. That way, no matter where you go, you have access to them. Google Drive and Dropbox have apps so you can access files on your phone. Just the other day I was asked if I had my syllabus. And all I did right from my phone, since I didn't have my computer, was go into my Dropbox app, and there it was. So, wonderful tool. If you use Instagram or Facebook, you can pull from there. You can search directly on the web or pull from your computer. So lots of options here. One of the courses I teach is business law, so since I had that on my mind, I went ahead and just did a web search for a courtroom. Go ahead and upload that. Now I've now got my first moment. At that point, if I want to add audio narration, I can click the narration button, and it's going to ask me to start recording. I would just click this to record it, and that would play over top of that image. So you could have students explain what they see in an image or what they understand about a certain image. We can paste in any links, so maybe you would like this to be linked to a certain page, so you've explained it, maybe given directions, and then you have the students click to go to a website with more information. And of course you can add text, or you can link it to a certain place. So right now my students are learning about the consequences to crimes, and where do the offenders go once they've been sentenced. So if we were researching the different correctional facilities, we could actually link directly to one of those facilities if they were doing a presentation on this. If you want to add multiple moments, so this is one moment where I can add narration and text and links. This is an amazing Hypermedia tool. I can add an additional moment, give it a name. So this one might be a video describing the trial procedures. So I can go ahead and put that and then click on video. It now asks me to search for a video. If I have one in mind, I can paste the URL right there. All right, I've gone out. I've found a YouTube on trial procedures that I want to use. I would just head back in to Meograph, paste that in there. Now I have a video. I can add narration, which would play before the video started, maybe explaining what I wanted them to look for or watch for in the video. I could add a link, maybe to additional information. So after having watched this video, I want you guys to go to this link and share some tips for opening statements. You can add text. If we were learning about a certain courtroom, I could link to where it's at. And so we'll just stop it at that. I won't keep adding additional moments. For the conclusion of your video, you just click on conclusion and you can choose a photo or video that you all would like to have. There's additional options down here at the bottom. Your Meograph description, connecting lines on and off, publishing on and off. And you can even have music playing. So down here you can see the option for music, and it'll ask me to go out and find music on my computer. Make sure that you're following copyright laws when you do this. Do you have the rights to use this song? So teachers can use small portions of a song that they have legally obtained, but not the entire song. So you might want to search for songs that are royalty free.
They are innocent until proven guilty and have the right to a speedy and fair trial. Depending on the crime and particular situation, the accused will have a bail set and may be released.
When you're finished making your Meograph, you have the option to share it on Facebook, tweet it out if you have a Twitter account for your class, or you can embed it on your website, and then they have an option for even more ways to share it. So most people like to embed it on their website, or you can just share the link that's at the very top. That is Meograph. Let's head back to Blendspace and see what else we have. Next on the list is Capsules. And you can see right here their promo at the top is all your media, your life, your stories together like never before. And that's the point of Hypermedia, bringing all of this media together in one place. So I would go ahead and join. Anytime it gives you the option to sign up with your Google account, I would. That's one less password you have to remember. And anytime you get to a website that has that option, you know that that's what you signed up with. So it makes it a whole lot easier, because we're going to be using a lot of sites this semester, and all you'll have to remember is your Google account, and to sign in you just have a one button click. It's really nice. This site, however, doesn't give us that option, but Meograph does and Thinglink does as well. I hit create up here at the top, new capsule. Here are your options on the left. We can title the capsule. Right now this is just a sample for R505. We can describe it. Sample for R505, and you can change colors. You can add tags for this so it can be more easily found if it has to do with a certain topic. Then we can start adding content. You can upload directly to your timeline, or they have what's called stacks. So if you're not sure which one you want to do, you can experiment. So directly to the timeline means just one item at a time is going to be going across your timeline. Stacks will kind of group things together. All right, and now it's asking what you want to add to your timeline. So we can add pictures and files. When you hit add files, you just need to go and find something that's stored on your computer. So I added a picture, and once you've added a picture, if you click on it, it lets you go through and make some changes. So I can title the picture. It says Emmeline plays guitar. I can give it a description. I can tag it, which makes it easier to find. I can provide a date and time, so if you're having your students lay out a course of events, they can put things in the exact time that it occurred. You can change the privacy to public, private, or friends only. So if this is something you're going to be sharing with your students, you would want to keep it public. You can even have them link it directly to a map. So like I said earlier, if I was teaching about certain courtrooms or correctional facilities, my students were exploring those facilities, they could link directly to those on the map so they can get a visual of where they're actually located. Or if you are trying to create, virtual field trips, your students can have pictures and link it to the map. Go ahead and close that out. The next option is to design your capsule, so you can change the background to other options, or you can design it yourself. That is an option. And you can add music. So this one isn't very simple because there's a lot of options and features, but it does give you an option to put together information in a linear format, to add text and information to it, and to add music. So it's just a little bit more visual. And our last tool is Prezi. Prezi allows you to add text, pictures, and video. You can paste links in there, but it does not have a hyperlink feature. So that is one thing that I don't like. The idea behind Prezi is that you start with a broad concept and you keep zooming in to more detail. If it's confusing for you at first, I find it easiest to use one of their templates and try to work from the template. One thing that is nice is they do show you the slides on the left like PowerPoint in the order that things are going. Here's how you would add text. Just click and type. This one already has an image, but we can replace the image. So we've now added text and pictures. You can search the web for an image. Load that. So now I've got a new image. Again, more text. They do have the options for bullet points, changing colors. And here's where all the really awesome features show up. So if you want to change something out, up here at the top is the insert button. And here's where all your hypermedia comes into place. We can add images, we can add symbols, we can add YouTube videos. You can even draw lines and arrows. You can add background music and voiceovers. So I think that's a really great feature as a teacher if you're trying to put some content out there so your students can go home and study even though you're not there. They can still hear your voice explaining the lesson, and you can put that out there on your website, on your My Big Campus, on Edmodo if that's a learning management system that you use. Or if you have older students that can use this tool, they can put together presentations using all these features. All right, that is our last Hypermedia tool. If you have any additional ones to add, please add them over here on the right. And here's what we're going to do with this lesson. After spending time exploring them, I want you to share how you could use one of these tools in your classroom, either as an instructional tool or a student project. Since Hypermedia includes text, images, audio, or video, explain how you will incorporate these aspects. So if you decided that you're going to use Prezi for a certain project, specifically how are you going to be incorporating audio and video? What kind of audio would you add? Would it be your narration? And what kind of narration would you be adding? Reminder, hit reply so that you can share your response with your classmates, but also turn it in. And I'll show you what I mean. So you're going to go to Edmodo. And in Edmodo, you would click on our class. And on the side, you should see small groups. If for whatever reason you don't see all the small groups, just contact me. But you would go into Module 4 for Hypermedia, and this is where all the submission spots are. You would hit turn in and turn in your response to me so I can easily grade it and see that you've answered the question. But so that we can share information and ideas with our classmates, I'd also like you to put your response here, and you can just copy and paste it. So you would hit reply, share your response. When you're finished, copy and paste it and hit turn in and share it for me. Please make sure that your explanation is detailed enough that I understand the project and how it's going to be used, and try to read through it and check for any kind of errors. If you have any questions, we can set up a Google Hangout. You can email me at calkesi@ius.edu. If you haven't joined Google Plus yet or Google, please do so. And to look into Hangouts, just search Google Hangouts and you should see a link for how to set that up. There's an app you can install on your phone or your tablet, or you can install it on your computer.